All right. Question 29 of the double AMC preview exam. Let's get into it. During a class exercise, you and a partner are assigned to work together. As a team, you must conduct interviews of volunteers who are pretending to be patients. You must each collect information from the volunteers using the information sheet. Together, you must write a summary report describing the volunteers' answers. Your partner suggests using a hidden cell phone to record the interviews, even though your instructor explicitly said to only use the information sheet. All right, so let's summarize the main problem here. Your classmate invites you to cheat together on a group assignment you are partnered together on. That's a bit redundant, but yes, your classmate is offering and suggesting this behavior. So, we have gone through a few questions like these that, we have some parallels to questions 5, 11, 21, 25. There are some parallels there, but it's a little bit different than those types of questions also. And, importantly, these questions shouldn't be lumped together as a question type, quotation marks or anything, because each scenario has their own considerations. But, there are some parallels to those scenarios also. So there might be some overlap in situations where someone said something wrong or did something wrong. And by now we have seen those a few times. So we should be good at these. Remember, one important thing to differentiate ineffective and from not effective responses that we've seen in similar-ish questions before is, if we're addressing the inappropriate comment or unethical behavior. So we have seen that to be a really important differentiator. So, don't memorize the methodology or the differentiators we use that are involved in these types of questions, but and don't categorize them into a type of question because each question has its own considerations. But we have seen them similar situations a few times, so we can definitely build on that knowledge. All right, so response 1: tell your partner that you both should only use the information sheet as instructed. All right, so let's go to our initial differentiations. And once again, we'll use the second one. The second question: are we taking steps to resolve or address the main problem? Well, very clearly we are addressing the unethical behavior, right? And so I already know this is going to be either a 3 or a 4 answer. We're addressing and dealing with the behavior kind of head on, and that our partner suggested as unethical. And if you look at this, not only are we addressing the behavior, but we're telling the partner that what they're doing is wrong and teaching them what the correct thing to do here is, right? We're teaching them that and telling them that not only what you're doing is wrong, but we should actually be using the information sheet as instructed. Now, why is that so important? Well, one of the differentiators we've seen in similar-ish type problems is how proactive is our response in helping prevent similar problems from occurring in the future. And by teaching people who act unethically or suggest to act unethically, by teaching them what the right response is, we are much less likely to encounter similar problems in the future, making this a more effective answer. Another critical thing here is how actionable and tangible our steps are, how specific our steps are to improve the situation. Very clearly, this is a specific step because we are telling the student, what the right thing to do is. Also, another important question we've asked in similar-ish type scenarios is, are you addressing the root cause? This isn't as relevant here, but we are at least addressing very directly, what the classmate suggested as unethical, right? So all this kind of leads us to inferring that this will be a very effective answer, right? You are encouraging someone else to act ethically and do the right thing. We're kind of going just above and beyond that step of just telling someone what they did was wrong, which we have seen to be important differentiator between effective and very effective answers in problems similar to this. All right. 29.2. Agree and allow your partner to use their phone to record the interviews. All right. So, are you addressing the issue? Or are you dealing with the unethical comment? Very clearly, we are not dealing or trying to correct, our teammates' conduct and suggestion. But not only that is, if we go to differentiating, and that makes this a 1 or 2 response because we are not doing that so overtly. And speaking of overtly, if you look at this question, are there any overt consequences to our response? Clearly, we're breaking the rules and we are deviating from what our professor said we should do. And if we do get caught, there are, very clear overt consequences to, our grade and our ability to perform well in the class. We're acting unethically. We're not recognizing there's an issue. We're not offering any type of solution. And if you consider, acting ethically as part of your responsibilities, very clearly relinquishing our responsibilities. Yeah, this is, being open and acting unethically to such a strong and obvious degree will put this into a 1 response, almost certainly. All right. 29.3. Ignore your partner's suggestion and do the interviews as originally planned. All right, so, let's ask the question, are we taking steps to address the main problem, right? Are we taking steps to address and deal with and correct our classmates' comments? I would say, that's one of our differentiators. Another differentiator that might come into play here is, are you fulfilling your responsibilities? And to that one, we clearly are, right? We're doing our interviews as originally planned and not acting unethically. So that's good. But nonetheless, we're not addressing our partner's suggestions, right? We are not addressing the fact that they made this comment. We're not trying to correct it in any way. We're simply just ignoring it. Because of that, there's some good things, some not good things. I'm going to put this into a 2 or a 3. So how do we differentiate between a 2 and a 3 here? Are you taking personal responsibility for solving the problem? Well, the problem, remember, the main problem is our classmates' unethical comment, right? We're not taking steps to address that comment in any way, right? We're not offering a solution to that addresses our classmates' comments to a significant degree, right? We're just ignoring the fact that they made the comment. What's the likelihood of causing a problem? Well, I guess there is some likelihood, yeah. I think one of the really big things is, and I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add a question here that I think will be really relevant. Right, and we have this question in a few different places, and I might rephrase it, but I think for now, what I want to recognize is something different from this problem that we have compared to other similar-ish problems where someone else made a mistake, right? Is we are working in a team, right? We are clearly partnered. If you look at the scenario, we're partnered together for this exercise. And as a team, we must conduct interviews of volunteers. The AAMC puts you in this situation as part of a team in order to see how you fulfill those responsibilities of a teammate. And part of those responsibilities includes not only you acting ethically, but making sure your team acts ethically and pushing them to act ethically and correcting them to act ethically. This, if we look back at, let's go to a similar problem, right? I'm going to go to 25 because there's a very clear parallel here, right? Remember, this problem was a classmate made a very derogatory comment about patients who are homeless, right? And we were addressing that comment. That was the main thrust, right? We were addressing that. We were trying to address that comment and correct our classmates' behavior. Now look at this 25.7. Ignore the student's comments and meet with the patient, right? And this was an effective response, right? Ignore the student's comments and meet with the patient. Well, for our answer here, ignore your partner's suggestions and do the interviews as originally planned. That has a very strong resonance to that previous question, right? To 25.7. However, the big differentiator here and the thing to keep in mind is in that question we had less teamwork orientated responsibilities, while here we have an added degree of responsibility because we are working as a team to correct our teammates' behavior. And there, we had a bit of a more obvious responsibility to meet with our patient because it was part of our job responsibilities. What I'm saying here, though, is that because we are part of a team, this adds a certain importance to correcting our partner's suggestions. And because we are not doing that, we are ignoring their suggestion here, this is going to be an ineffective response. And I added this question here, are we prioritizing teamwork? Here we are not prioritizing teamwork, even though we're part of a team, right? We are ignoring our partner's suggestions, not trying to correct them. This in turn makes us less, not improving the situation, right? Even though we're doing them as originally planned, we are not fulfilling that added responsibility of correcting our teammate's answer. All right. Enough said for that question. 29.4. Ask your classmates if they plan to record their interviews before making a decision. All right, so let's start where we usually start. Are we taking steps to address or resolve the main problem? Here, we are not taking steps to address or resolve the main problem, right? We're not taking steps to correct our classmates' behavior, trying to deal with it in any way. Not only that, we are, once again, we're kind of, it's similar to, it was 29.2 in this scenario. We're open to acting unethically, right? We're asking our classmates if they plan to record their interviews because we're trying to also see, how we can get away and if it's okay to act unethically in this manner. We're trying to look for confirmation for that. Because we are doing that, we're so open to unethical action, right? If you look back at differentiating a 1 or 2, we're not recognizing the issue of the unethical action, right? We're very open to it. We're not offering a solution to how we can prevent our teammate from acting unethically. You can kind of go down these lists, but because we are so incredibly open to act unethically, we're not really correcting the situation, not improving it in the slightest degree. This is going to be a 1 response. All right. 29.5. Tell your partner you're not comfortable with their suggestion. All right, so are we addressing the problem, right? Are we addressing the main problem here? Clearly we are addressing the problem. So I'm going to put this into a 3 or 4. We are dealing with it. We're correcting our partner's suggestion. Very, very strong degree there. So differentiating between a 3 and a 4, right? And, an important thing to remember here is, although we're telling the partner we're not comfortable with their behavior, right? And we're still not, if you look at this question, I don't have it here, but to what degree are we correcting, right, our partner's behavior? We're not doing that to a very strong degree, right? We're not explaining exactly why our partner's actions are unethical, which would be helpful, or correcting them and telling them what the right thing to do here, like we did in 29.1 was. We're not doing that. But we have to remember that even though we're not doing that, which often we have seen differentiate a 3 and a 4 in similar types of questions, remember what we talked about in 29.3, where we have this added responsibility for working as a team, right? Collaborating with our teammate. And one really, really good thing that this response does is it opens the door for important conversation, right? It opens the door to talk about why their suggestion was unethical. Because we are doing that and embodying these ideals of being a good team member, right? Of opening the door for conversation, of collaborating. We're not shutting down our partner or making them feel bad for suggesting this. We're very respectfully and opening the door for conversation, and we're not precluding conversation and setting the stage for it. That's going to make this a for response, right? Because of that added responsibility we have as a team to correct our partner's behavior, although we're not doing that explicitly, we are respectful and trying to engage the partner in conversation. That's going to make this a very effective answer. All right. $29.6. Tell your partner that you will complete the assignment yourself and plan to use only the information sheet. All right, so, are we taking steps to address the main problem, right? That's one of our differentiators. But we also have this other differentiator of, are you fulfilling your responsibilities? So we clearly are fulfilling our responsibilities and we're not acting unethically, right? Which is good. On the other hand, we're not really addressing the fact that our classmate made this unethical suggestion. We're not addressing that comment to any significant degree, right? We're not correcting it. Because it does some good things, some bad things, I'm going to put this into a 2 or a 3, right? It's not correcting our classmate's comment, but we are still acting ethically. Okay, this will be a 2 or a 3 response. So how do we differentiate a 2 and a 3 response? Well, we can go back to, are we offering a solution to the main problem? And remember, the main problem was that our classmate made this unethical comment, right? So we're not offering a solution to that because we're not correcting them in any relevant capacity. Also, remember, teamwork is very important in this question because we are part of a team, right? Are we prioritizing teamwork? Because, and here we are not, right? We're saying we're going to do the assignment ourselves. Because of that, this is going to be an ineffective answer, right? And if you think about responsibilities, our responsibility is to complete this assignment as a team. So we're not fulfilling that either. Although we are not open to cheating, so it won't go in a very ineffective kind of bucket. We are still not addressing the problem, not fulfilling our responsibilities fully, and not being open to working with our partner, which is important in this question, right? So that's going to make this a 2 response. All right, that was question 29. Like I always say, please like and subscribe if you can, and share with anyone who could benefit. And yeah, we are almost there. The next question is question 30, which is the last question of this exam. So yeah, enough said here. I will see y'all for that question.